Good morning. Well, it is the airport's oldest terminal, so it's in need of some upgrade. The last upgrades came just a few years ago, and Sky Harbor is a huge economic engine for not only the city of Phoenix, but also Arizona, bringing in millions of people and billions of dollars of economic impact. So this project costs about $326 million. That'll add 6 new gates and bring the number of total gates to 26 at Sky Harbor. Delta, United, Frontier, and Alaska Airlines all use Terminal 3, which handles about a quarter of passengers at Sky Harbor with more than 52 million. The terminal often reached full capacity in 2024, so plans also include a new lounge, food, and beverage options with a nice view of Camelback Mountain. So we showed you one rendering. We're hoping to get more. The total construction should be completed in 2027, Scott and Tess, so expect even more people to be flying into Sky Harbor in just a couple years.
All right. Growth is good, though.
Yeah,
Growth is
and it's
good.
a great airport to get in and out, I think.
Thank you so much, David.
All right, scary.